Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming back across my channel. My name is Faith Jarman and I am very happy to have you here. As a matter of fact, I am so happy for all of my new subscribers who have joined the family. I pray there's something that I can say that will encourage you and help you to continue to press toward the mark of the high calling for your life. Well, I just want to tell you that with God, nothing is impossible. God has a plan for all of us, and no devil in hell can keep that from coming to pass. Real quick, my testimony, and a brief part of my big testimony, is that my parents, my mom anyway, her tubes were tied when she conceived me. As a matter of fact, she went through so many problems through her pregnancy that the doctors wanted to have me aborted in the 4th month, but she declined. By 7 months, she had a stroke. By the 9th month, she had a C-section because they didn't want to put any more stress on her body. Now, when they did that C-section, the doctors, mistakenly cut the artery that was in her stomach. My mother hemorrhaged to death. She was on the operating table, and for 2 hours, she died. Yeah, let that sink in. I got to calm down and slow down right around that point. She was dead. And as she could, before she actually transitioned, because this is not just my testimony, but this is my mother's testimony. My mother can say that she could feel her feet die. She could feel it slowly, that death go up her body to where her thighs, everything was so completely numb. And even as the doctors were pouring blood into her, she was still, she couldn't retain the blood. It was coming right back out. So much to the point that, like I stated first, her feet died, then her legs, then her thighs, then her body, her upper body, everything, she died. And she said that she felt her soul come out of her body. And then she said that it was a sound like a vacuum cleaner that sound like Om. And this sound, it was loud, and she said it looked like a million suns were everywhere. There was so much light. And she said that although it was a lot of light, it did not hurt her eyes. So with that sound, she said it was just drawing her to the presence of God. And where she never got to see his face, she knew that she was in his presence. She said it was so pleasant to be in his presence that warm could not even describe it. So once she was in his presence, she said that she just knew she wasn't worthy to be there. She just knew that she should have gone straight to hell because at that time, she did not forgive people. She would go her whole life to get somebody back if they wronged her. So she knew that much about God to know that she should have gone to hell. But she said that as she was in his presence, she was telling him that if she died, she was saying that she was begging for her life, that if she died, no one would take care of her children like she could. She was at God's mercy and just asking him to please let her live. She said, because if all of us, all 3 of us, I have 2 older brothers, and they are 8 and 11 years older than I am, which can also state how my parents, they pretty much did not want any more children. Okay, so back to the story. She said that she knew that my father was not going to be able to take care of all 3 of us by himself. And if we got separated, other people would take better care of their children than they would take care of hers. And she said just then the Lord told her that he was going to send her back. And because he had a job for her child to do, and only she could help that child do that job. And so I am that child. And because of that situation, or because of her experience, not situation, but because of her experience, she named me Faith. Because if it had not been for the faith that she had in God, neither one of us would be here today. Now, friends, my mother was 30 years old. My mother and father were both 30 years old. And my mother says that she did not think that she was going to live to see 31. I'm sorry. They were 30 years old. She didn't think that she was going to live to see 31. But by the grace of God, he blessed her to not only live to see 31, but my mother just celebrated her 77th birthday a few days before Christmas. And yes, I am almost 46 years old. I'm saying this to say that with God, nothing is impossible. He can do anything but fail. No matter what it is that you are going through, just know that God will bring you through for his glory. See, one great thing about God is that he is a creator. That means he has the power and the authority to create something out of absolutely nothing. So I don't know what it is that you're going through today, but all hope is never lost when you are in the hands of Jesus Christ. Okay, back to my story real quick. That same God blessed my mother to see me, who's her youngest child, grown. But then he did something extra. He blessed her to see 8 grandchildren, and the youngest is 12. The oldest, I believe, just turned 25, I believe. But that's the God we serve. He gave her an after this. And I want to encourage you today and let you know that what you're going through is not going to last forever.